Attention passionate Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Buffalo Bills' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Buffalo Bills fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Buffalo BILLSFANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been following the NFL landscape lately, you know that the rumblings around the league are louder than ever, especially when it comes to the AFC East and the potential shakeups that could redefine the division. And no, I'm not just talking about the usual off-season chatter. This time, we're hearing whispers that could shake things up in a way that no Bills fan would want to miss. We're talking about a possible blockbuster trade involving none other than Derwin James, the star safety of the Los Angeles Chargers, and how this move might set the stage for the Bills to take a giant leap forward in their Super Bowl aspirations. Let's set the scene here. The Chargers, currently sitting at a 4-5 record, are in a pretty tricky spot. Their defense, which was supposed to be a strength, has been anything but consistent. They've allowed 38 sacks so far, that's the fourth worst in the league, and their overall team performance has been hampered by a defense that struggles to get off the field and create turnovers. Now, with a rebuild seemingly on the horizon, especially on the offensive side, where they're looking to add more playmakers and protect their franchise quarterback Justin Herbert, the Chargers are reportedly eyeing a significant shakeup before the trade deadline on November 4th. Sources close to the league are whispering that the Chargers are exploring the possibility of trading Derwin James, their all-pro safety, to the Buffalo Bills in exchange for a second-round pick in 2026 and a fourth-round pick in 2027. This move would do a couple of things for the Chargers. First, it would free up around $17 million in cap space, which they desperately need to extend their young star quarterback Justin Herbert and to bolster their offensive line. Second, it would help them shed some of their defensive salary commitments, especially considering that their current cap situation is tight. They don't have the space to extend key players like Joey Bosa without restructuring or trading. Now let's talk about Derwin James himself, because this guy is a game changer. At just 29 years old, James is playing some of the best football of his career, and he's a true difference maker on the field. He's an elite safety with a combination of coverage skills, run-stopping ability, and versatility that makes him a nightmare for offenses. In 2025, until November, James racked up 72 tackles, that's top 4 among safeties, along with 5 interceptions, 3 sacks, and an impressive PFF grade of 87.4, which puts him among the top safeties in the league. His coverage grade is an outstanding 89.2, ranking second overall, and he's also solid against the run with an 85.6 grade. His playmaking ability is off the charts, with an EPA per play of -0.29, an interception rate of 9.2%, which is top in the league, and a tackle miss rate of just 7.8%. He's also been responsible for 4 forced fumbles and 6 QB hits, making him a true force in the secondary. Beyond the stats, what makes James so valuable is his impact on the game. His blitz win rate of 14.1% in 2025 highlights how disruptive he can be rushing the passer, and despite missing 2 games with a shoulder injury in Week 4, his overall impact remains significant. His career totals are equally impressive, over 600 tackles and 28 interceptions, with a career grade of 90.1. His ability to read plays, make crucial stops, and create turnovers is why he's considered one of the best safeties in the league today. Imagine him paired with the Bills' secondary, joining Russell Douglas with his 84.7 coverage grade. That would elevate the Bills' pass defense to new heights, possibly bringing their total interceptions to 24 and drastically reducing the yards passing allowed, which currently hovers around 230 yards per game. The potential acquisition of James by the Bills would be a game changer. It would significantly bolster their secondary, which has been somewhat banged up this season. With Jordan Poyer out for 3 games due to a shoulder injury and Micah Hyde limited, the Bills have been searching for consistency in the back end. Adding James would inject elite talent and leadership into that secondary, transforming it into a top 5 unit in the league. His presence would also help the Bills' run defense, which is already solid but would benefit from his tackling and playmaking skills. And if you look at how this could impact the Bills' overall defense, the effects would be substantial. Their EPA allowed per play could improve from -0.18 to an estimated 31, thanks to James's ability to shut down the opponent's passing game and create turnovers. This would lead to more short fields, more scoring opportunities, and ultimately more wins, especially in those critical late-season games. Now, if we're talking about the postseason and Super Bowl aspirations, the addition of Derwin James could be the X factor that pushes the Bills from a good team to a true contender. The odds for the Bills to win the Super Bowl could jump from +600 to +350 with James in the fold. His ability to neutralize key offensive players, especially dynamic running backs and tight ends, would make it easier for the Bills' defense to contain opponents and close out games. His knack for tackling for loss, with a rate of 13.4%, would help slow down explosive plays, which is often the difference maker in tight playoff games. When you think about James's impact on the Chargers, he's been a catalyst for their defense, boosting their turnover numbers and making big plays when it counts most. And let's not forget the big picture. This trade isn't just about filling a need, it's about strategic positioning. The Bills, with their 6-3 record, are already in a strong playoff position, but adding a player like James would elevate their defense to elite status, making them even more formidable in December and January. Considering their already impressive sack total of 24, and the fact that their secondary is desperate for that extra piece of elite talent, James could be the missing link that makes this team a true Super Bowl favorite. On the other side, the Chargers are clearly looking to rebuild their roster, focusing on acquiring draft picks and freeing up cap space to build their future around Herbert. They're rumored to be targeting additional draft picks to rebuild their receiving core, similar to what the Raiders did in 2023. Trading Derwin James now would be a smart move for them, especially since his contract runs through 2028, and they'd avoid overpaying for a player they might not be able to retain long-term given their cap constraints. It's a classic rebuild move, a team selling high on a star, stockpiling draft capital, and focusing on the long term. For Bills fans, this potential trade is exciting because it signals a serious commitment to contending now. It's a bold move, but when you look at what James brings to the table, leadership, elite coverage, run-stopping ability, and game-changing playmaking, it's exactly the type of acquisition that could push the Bills over the edge. Imagine a defense that's already formidable with players like Matt Milano and Daquan Jones, now fortified with a guy who can create turnovers, pressure the quarterback, and shut down the top receiving threats. Of course, nothing is certain until the trade actually happens, but the signs point to a real possibility. The Bills have the draft capital to make a deal happen, and with the trade deadline approaching, it's a move that could define their season. Plus, with the AFC East as competitive as ever, the Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots all fighting for playoff spots, adding a player of James's caliber could be the difference in winning the division and securing a top seed in the AFC. It's these kind of moves that playoff teams make, and Bills fans should be excited about the potential of this move, transforming their team into a true Super Bowl contender. So, as we keep an eye on the latest developments, remember that the NFL landscape is shifting, and the Bills are at the forefront of a potential revolution. Derwin James could be the piece that takes them from a good team to a championship-caliber squad, and for us Bills fans, that's the kind of news that keeps the passion burning bright. Whether or not this trade materializes, it's a reminder that in the NFL, nothing is set in stone, but the hope and excitement for a brighter future are always alive in Buffalo. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Buffalo Bills news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Buffalo Bills fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster involving Derwin James? Do you believe it's the move that could finally put Buffalo over the top? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Bills. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Buffalo Bills news. Let's go, Bills Mafia. This season is shaping up to be something special, and whether this trade happens or not, we're all in this together, rooting for the blue and red to bring home that coveted Lombardi trophy.